Hello and welcome to this week's coffee vlog. It's now Friday the 26th of August and I'm heading home. Slightly later than I wanted to, mainly because I just discovered I've got a great big screw in my back right tyre, so I had to pump that up. And hopefully it will manage to get me as far as home again. So another bank holiday weekend, another leaky tyre, which is fantastic, isn't it really? Not. It's nearly 6 o'clock, so hopefully I might catch a mini flying by along here. I'm not very sure. Apparently Richard, who's been tweeting me quite a lot recently, might be flying by on the Halifax Keighley Road in his Mini, so we'll endeavour to see if we pass a Mini or not. Not very sure, but there you go. What's been happening this week? Bit of a better week this week, aside from a whole puncture in my tyre. Car still isn't, I've not been back, I've not had a chance to get back to the garage. Funny enough, it's not being mentioning anything about the ignition system after all that, so don't know if it's just forgotten that. So the only problem I have now is the handbrake auto launch issue, which is not a huge issue really, but so that's okay. And I'm cautiously listening to my back just to see if that tyre is going down. No idea how long it's stepped. I don't know how long I've had that screw in, to be honest. It could be a new one. It looks like it's not a Mini that's been pulled over there, is it? Let's have a look. No, it looks like it's a bit of a mid-range people carrier. Been sent on his way, being a naughty boy. What he's going to do, he's now going to try and cut across all the traffic as well, just to really pee the policeman off. So yes, that's embarrassing. So yeah, work's been alright, not been too busy. Had not a huge amount on. We've sent a lot of product out. Obviously bank holiday weekend coming up. It's always a busy time for people. And what is it with people getting in the wrong lane? I mean, admittedly the other one had an excuse. Oh god, you're gonna cut across and then diving on everyone. Ah, it's Friday night, so look out for Mini. Any Minis? No. So yeah, it's been fairly busy sending stock out, to be honest. But other than that, not such a great amount happening really. Again, pretty steady on my postal sales, but I have been able to catch up on many other things that have needed doing, which is good, and really got long-term projects I'm going to be moving, working on for some time, which I'll just keep chiseling away at. On website, and then of course just trying to progress with my roaster room and ducting, and it also needs power wiring in there, because bizarrely there's no power in that particular room, so I'm having to run a feed from a fuse box through into there, and some sockets and commando hookups. So I'll be getting on with that next, I think, before it then's going to need some paint work doing. Oh, looks like someone came up rather too quick there and couldn't make the bend and must have slammed into someone else, judging by, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's a load, as well as the tram line tyre marks where they slammed on after realising that trying to do 100 miles an hour up the road out of Halifax wasn't going to work at the bend. And they ended up going straight on. It looks like they've whacked into someone coming the other way, and there's all cement dust covering the oil from the resulting destroyed engines. So yes, do seem to have quite a few crashes up there. There used to be, like around the bend in the middle, there used to be like a pedestrian refuge, obviously built up with curbs, but wisely the council decided to remove that, I think because people kept bouncing over the top of it and knocking down the little barrier things, lit up barriers. So yeah, they got rid of that because they realised that so many people would would go up there at stupid speeds and not be able to fully make the bend and then ram into the curvy bit. So they're just making it like a checked off area now, so you can at least run it over it a bit. But if you run too much over it, you run into the traffic coming the way, which is bad. Of course, what you should actually do is drive at 30 miles an hour, which is the limit to go up there. Then you wouldn't have a problem getting around the bend, whatever car you're driving. In fact, it's a shame, earlier on I saw a lovely yellow Robin Reliant 3-wheeler. So done up like Del Boy's Robin Reliant 3-wheeler, but it was the Bury Independent Trading Company. So it wasn't Trotter's Independent Trading, it was Bury Independent Traders. But obviously a bit of his advertising was to have his little yellow 3-wheeler Robin Reliant, which was done up a bit like Del Boy. So that was quite kind of funny. It's a shame I didn't have the camera actually turned on at that point. Although I have had to clear quite a bit of footage, well, whatever footage was on there. I don't even know how I filled it up again. No idea how I filled it up, because I only cleared it up on before I emptied it on Tuesday. Or maybe I didn't wipe everything off, I don't know. I don't know, anyway. So I put up a bit of motorway footage this week of my trip down to Tamworth. We actually went to a theme park, Drayton Manor theme park, which is a bit of a favourite with the family. It's got, of course, Thomas land there, so there's a lot of Thomas themed ride and Thomas stuff, and there's a train line with various Thomas engines that actually pull carriages. So you can have a sit on ride, and it takes you to the top of the zoo, and then you can get a ride back again if you want. So yeah, it's generally quite a good theme park. Probably doesn't have as many of the bigger rides for older kids and adults and teenagers and whatever else, but suits the youngest, and the zoo's very good actually. We like looking around zoos. So we did that. We went down on the Sunday night and stayed at the hotel again, which I'd done previously. I had before stayed at a Holiday Inn when we'd been, which worked okay, but in the long run, the hotel does some like stay and play rates, so you get your tickets for the theme park. But the big bonus about the hotel is you get there on the night, you park up at the hotel, and then the next day you put your stuff in your car and leave it in the hotel car park, and just walk literally, you know, it's 30 foot from the hotel car park to the entrance, or the main entrance to the park, so you can get there, get straight in, and you know, there's no queuing or anything, because you're there first when it opens, as opposed to having to drive from somewhere, and then there's always cars queuing to get in for when it opens, and then you've got to get in, and then everyone gets out, and then you've got to wait till the gate opens. So it's always a big queue that way. So it's actually a much better way of doing it, staying at the hotel. And to be honest, you need to stay somewhere rather than set off very early, because it's like a 2-hour drive. So setting off from home, you'd set off too early, and then you'd all be pooped by the time you got there, and you wouldn't enjoy the day. So it's better being the night before. And yeah, it worked pretty well again. Really like that, got in early, and we had a good day, and then we didn't even leave until it pretty much shut as well, so that was quite good. So a good day out was had on Monday, and of course it meant I had a day off work, so that was alright. Yeah, I thought I'd fit in a few days towards the end of the summer. Then he got another week and a day, the youngest has, before he's back to school. And of course, for me, the schools will be coming back soon. That means my mornings are going to get a lot harder again. One thing being, of course, there's going to be a lot more traffic, because at the moment I'm getting work in like ridiculously quick times. Plus I'm also going to have to get up earlier, which is going to be not so great, because I need to I'll be needing to get up and sort youngest out and everyone else out, because at the moment I'm just sort of getting up pretty much just before I need to leave for work, and then I'm just getting up, having a cup of tea and going, and that's me done. Leave them all nicely snoozing away to wake up when they fancy. But yeah, only a week left of that relaxation, and then it's back to the grind, so that'll be a bit of harder work. Have I watched any films? I don't know. I think the family have been watching quite a few. I've not particularly had a chance. One thing I was going to broach on was this big thing about iOS 9.3.5. I'm going, fed up and waiting. iOS 9.3.5 that came out yesterday, I think it came out, which surprised everyone. And it turns out the reason that they've brought that out, and in fact the reason why we had an iOS 10 beta bizarrely last Friday night, which no one could figure out why, because it was only a few days after they'd already released one beta, is that this pretty major, well, 3 vulnerabilities had been found in iOS that basically made it wide open to being hacked into and have pretty much anything done. And how it all came about, which is quite an interesting story. I'll have to leave a link to the actual proper story down in the description below. Also, I've forgotten entirely if I saw a Mini or not. But never mind. Another guy behind nearly ended up in my boot. So yes, what happened is this guy who had something to do, I don't know if he was to do with I'm trying to think of the word now, and I can't even think what the word is. Go on then, go on. I meant I was going past the bus, but you know, whatever. Yes, it was like it's been like a freedom fighter or freedom for some part political thing or whatever else. So it wasn't particularly terrorist, I don't think, but he was more to do with political things and political freedom, whatever else. But what had happened is he received this text message off an unknown number, which was purportedly telling him to click on a link to go into the Safari browser to get some more information on something, and he was a bit suspect about it, so he didn't do it. But he knew someone in a security firm, I don't know, software security, so we forwarded it to him. And it turned out that this link would basically go to a web page that would cause, for all intents and purposes was a single click jailbreak on the phone. But not that you could get Cydia on there, which would be useful or anything, but all it would do is completely root the phone. And this is for iOS, obviously, iPhones, which are normally the most secure devices you can get. It completely root the phone and then give the people who developed it complete access to emails, phone calls, texts, absolutely everything. Access to your phone, your pictures, everything on your phone they would have access to. They could listen in to all your calls, the whole malarkey. They completely and utterly take over the phone. Like I say, it's a very interesting story, because apparently it turns out this is being purported by a pretty much ghost company that is set up in, like, I think it said in 2011 or something. It's not that old, but is now worth billions. And although they have no website, no official profile or anything, and known within sort of government agencies that they're where you go to if you want to snoop on people, because they have the relevant software, and they created this as a method for various governments and agencies, whoever to pay sufficient money for it, for counter-terrorism or whatever else, or whoever they just fancied snooping on. But you know, iPhones, which you think are really secure, they hacked it, completely hacked it. So yeah, that release 9.3.5 was basically rushed out to fix these 3, and it was 3 vulnerabilities that have been in iOS since launch of iOS. 0-day vulnerabilities, which are really rare. And yeah, apparently this software that was downloaded when you clicked on the web link had references all the way back to iOS 7. So it's been about since the iPhone 5 came out, that many years ago. So yeah, it's a long-term thing. Anyway, I'm back home. And Ellis is sat wondering why I'm talking to myself in the car. Right, I'm off. So have a good weekend, a week next week. I'll talk to you next week's coffee vlog.